This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I think it's terrible. You want to know the truth? I think it's a disgrace. What's going on in this country, I think it's a disgrace. The memo was sent to Congress. It was declassified. Congress will do whatever they're going to do. But I think it's a disgrace what's happening in our country.
President Trump giving the order for a dubious memo about the FBI to be made public. But what did the memo reveal? Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohn, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. We'll have more on the week in Washington in a moment, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. And we begin tonight with a federal judge's decision that could have a huge impact on elections in Florida. Florida's process for restoring felons' voting rights has been ruled unconstitutional. The ruling comes as the movement to change Florida's rights restoration system gains momentum. The issue will be on the November ballot. Right now, convicted felons have to wait 5 to 7 years after their sentences are complete until they could submit an application to have their voting rights restored.
It's been made worse by the current administration, by Governor Scott's administration, but this process has been arbitrary and unconstitutional for a long time.
Doesn't apply to those convicted of murder or sex offenses, and then has to pass with a 60% of the vote margin. Northport High School has been cleared after a bomb threat today forced the evacuation of students and teachers. Northport police now say a search of the school is complete and nothing has been found. Earlier today, students and staff were evacuated from the school and held at the Morgan Center until parents could pick them up. The school's principal says the threat was based on an anonymous message found in a bathroom stall. A 76-year-old Sarasota man is behind bars accused of threatening another driver with a weapon. Sheriff's deputies responded to a road rage incident at the intersection of Tamiami Trail and Stickney Point Road in Sarasota. The victim says she changed lanes in front of the suspect, who became angry. She says the suspect got out of his car, waved a firearm, and threatened her. Deputies say the suspect's blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit. Harry Schuback is now charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and DUI. Sheriff's deputies also arrested a 32-year-old Venice man for child pornography. Deputies discovered an IP address was being used to download files containing child porn. It was then linked to an address on Veneto Boulevard in Venice. Detectives say 32-year-old Dennis Pomeroy worked as a security guard at the location. They say files were found showing his personal computer used to send child pornography. Pomeroy is charged with 1 count of transmission of obscene material. The investigation continues and additional charges are pending. Changes are on the way for Venice Airport. Construction crews are removing 80-year-old concrete on the airport's ramp. The thick concrete begun to crack, and the airport worries the area might become unsafe for airplanes. The $4.5 million project is largely funded by the FAA and partly by the city of Venice.
We're bringing that back in and using that for the base course under the new asphalt. So we're saving, not only are we recycling the concrete, but we're also saving environmentally by not trucking it away.
The ramp construction is expected to be completed in March. Measures that could clear the way for people to carry guns at churches and other religious institutions are ready to go to the House and Senate floors. Under current law, people with concealed weapons licenses can carry guns at churches and other religious institutions, but they are barred from doing so if there are schools on the property. The bill seeks to address that.
I think if you're a church and you meet at a facility, and even if it's a school, and it's on a Sunday, they're not having school there.
Lawmakers backing the overall change continue to use deadly shootings in November at a church in Texas as an example of why the change is needed. Negotiations on the annual state budget may not be as contentious this year as in years past. The House Appropriations Committee has approved an $87.2 billion spending plan for the fiscal year, which begins July 1st. That's up from the current $84 billion budget. The Senate budget plan, however, comes in at $87.3 billion. The bill now goes to the full House and Senate for approval.
There's a commitment by both the House and the Senate to very strong reserves, and I think that the policy differences that are reflected in the budget are things that are routine and can be worked through during the conference process.
While the overall numbers in the proposals are similar, the House and Senate have major differences in several key policy areas, including higher education, charter schools, funding, and health care. Well, it seems like the perfect evening to enjoy some music and good food on Music on Main. Now let's head out to ABC7's chief meteorologist Bob Harrigan, who is enjoying the festivities in Lakewood Ranch with the first alert forecast. How's it going, Bob?
Alan, I got to tell you, it's going great right now. Lisa Riding's band, great first hour. They're taking a little break right now, but they're going to be back on. And we got Eat More Chicken. Eat More Chicken right here. How are you, buddy? We got the Oriole here as well for the Baltimore Orioles, Mr. Bird. He's flying around too, and he's hitting it off really well. We got some people right here joining us from Waterleaf who's come to visit. What's your name?
Joanne.
Joanna, your name?
And Jim Carey.
And where are you guys from?
Massachusetts. Go.
Okay. Now we talked about Philly earlier. Who are you pulling for?
Patriots.
Patriots all the way.
Did you guys? There's a lot of Patriots fans here. We got some Patriots fans everywhere. You know what? You got to keep it down, though. The Philly fans are a little bit rambunctious.
No, we're going to win tomorrow, definitely.
Was that a heck of a game last year? If it's anything like last year's game, I'll watch it.
We're going to be there.
You got to watch this because they will blow them away.
Okay, you heard it here first, right here from Waterleaf here in Manatee County. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much. I love Waterleaf. Great course, too, by the way. We had a Dream 18 there. Here's what's happening right now. 64 degrees. It's nice out here, isn't it? Beautiful. Beautiful. A little bit better than Massachusetts, I think. Yeah, dew point is at 58, and winds are out of the north at 7. The pressure 30-17, and that is rising. Who cares about what the groundhog says, right? We want 6 more weeks of winter. That's exactly right. Van Wezel showing beautiful sunset tonight out over Sarasota Bay from the Van Wezel webcam. And as far as the satellite imagery goes, you can see that line of clouds extending across Florida and into the Gulf of Mexico. That's a weak cold front, but not to worry. It's not going to cool things down all that much. There's another system that will eventually bring a better chance for some rain coming late Sunday afternoon and into Sunday evening, but most of us will be glued to the tube watching the game, and hopefully it's a good one. 58 degrees by 11 o'clock tonight, and the Lisa Riding's band now taking a little break, Alan, but they'll be back shortly. And I gotta tell you, the crowd here is enormous. I walked through all the way down, and it's shoulder to shoulder. It's a concert feel right now here at Lakewood Ranch Music on Main for the first Friday of the month, and it couldn't be better weather. Back to you.
Hey, Bob. Still to come. So what did that dubious memo about the FBI tell us?
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Join ABC7 at the all-new 2018 edition of Circus Sarasota. Ovation under the big top at Nathan Benderson Park behind the mall at UTC. Friday, February 9th through Sunday, March 4th. All opening weekend tickets are 20% off, courtesy of ABC7. To purchase your discount tickets, visit circusarts.org, the Circus Sarasota box office at the Big Top, or call 941-355-9805.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
A controversial GOP written memo by the House Intelligence Committee has been declassified by President Trump and made public. It focuses on part of the process leading to the court-approved surveillance of a former Trump campaign advisor and questions the political motivations of some members of the FBI and Department of Justice. ABC's Lana Zach is following the breaking details today.
It was declassified, and let's see what happens. But a lot of people should be ashamed.
President Trump, against the recommendation of his own FBI director, declassified a controversial memo written by Republican members of the House Intelligence Committee. The memo posted this afternoon is critical of Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein and others for their roles in renewing a surveillance warrant on former Trump campaign aide Carter Page. At its crux, the memo argues that the FBI and Department of Justice used information from Christopher Steele's unsubstantiated dossier to renew their FISA surveillance warrant against Page without disclosing that the dossier was paid for in part by the Clinton campaign.
This dossier was the foundational basis for spying on American citizens.
Democrats in the committee have charged that the memo cherry-picks facts and critiques the chair, Devin Nunes, a Trump ally, for releasing misleading allegations, calling it a shameful effort to discredit these institutions, undermine the special counsel's ongoing investigation, and undercut congressional probes. And former FBI Director James Comey tweets, "That's it? Dishonest and misleading memo wrecked the House Intel Committee, destroyed trust with intelligence community, damaged relationship with FISA court, and inexcusably exposed classified investigation of an American citizen. For what? DOJ and FBI must keep doing their jobs." Critics charge that this is all an effort to compromise the special counsel Robert Mueller and the one man who could fire him, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. The president was asked if the memo makes him more likely to fire Rosenstein.
You figure that one out.
The top Democrat on the committee, Congressman Adam Schiff, says that the memo tells a political story to help the president. And already Democrats are warning that if the president did in fact try and use the memo as a basis for trying to fire Rosenstein or Mueller, that it would be considered an attempt to obstruct justice. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
There are no secret memos or surveillance at the trapezoid, but there is partisan politics and the shrewdest Republican and Democratic minds anywhere on the Suncoast. So stay with us.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar, A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
You shop around for the best prices on everyday products. But when it comes to your health care,
nobody has any idea what things cost.
Doctors and hospitals within blocks of each other charging different prices for the same procedure.
That doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't make sense.
Investigator Lee Zarek exposes a secret some medical professionals don't want you to know and shows you how to put the purchasing power back in your hands. Costly Care, an ABC7 investigation, Monday at 6.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
Welcome back. President Trump calls it a disgrace, and that is something both Republicans and Democrats can agree upon for very different reasons. The president claims the now declassified memo written by Republicans on the House Intelligence Committee is evidence the Department of Justice and FBI relied on Trump haters to obtain court orders to do surveillance on Trump campaign staffers. Others say the real disgrace is the president would declassify a purely partisan memo in an obvious attempt to undermine the criminal investigation of himself. There is a huge local political race taking place here in Sarasota right now, and we're going to be talking about it, but there is a real and legitimate concern about this going on in Washington. And joining us right now are two of the most respected minds in local politics, Jack Brill, the vice chairman of the Sarasota Republican Party, and Rita Ferrandino, the former chair of the Sarasota Democratic Party. Did I build you up enough?
I think that's great.
Yeah.
How about a handshake to
There
start?
we go.
There you go.
So I'm really interested in what your takes on this, because I know that, Jack, I know you're about to quote Congressman Rooney from the southern part of our viewing area, but equally you'll have other people on the other side saying that this memo, which we have here, and all three of us have labored to read it, is really one-sided. They did not release the Democratic version of this memo, and it's over and above the objections of President Trump's hand-picked FBI director.
All true. And you're right. We have labored to try and read through this, trying to follow the various pieces and how the FISA warrants were issued, who was behind it, the GPS opposition, Fusion GPS opposition firm, who hired them first, then when did Hillary Clinton's campaign hire them to do this? I mean, it's convoluted at best.
And keep in mind, Fusion GPS was originally hired by Marco Rubio to do this work.
Right. And when he bowed out of the race, Hillary Clinton's campaign picked it up. Right. So, and you've got an MI6 agent involved, it's just trying to, it's goofy, and I'm going to read the quote that Congressman Rooney put out, and he felt, and then his quote is, "We feel the so-called dossier was just that, a political document, and the American people need to know that. The intent of this memo is to shed light on past abuses in order to effectively prevent future abuses in the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act." It says here, "It is not in any way intended to influence or undermine FBI Special Counsel Robert Mueller's ongoing investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election."
But you also have other Republicans, like former Congressman David Jolly, who's a frequent guest on this show, saying, folks, starting today, this is no longer about the Russians, this is now about the GOP. That's from a Republican.
Yeah.
I think it's just classic Donald Trump. His hand-picked FBI director that he put in place said you shouldn't do this. The Department of Justice said you shouldn't do this. And so what does Donald Trump do? He absolutely does what he was defying them. He went and did what he wanted.
Here's a fascinating little piece of this. The president was asked today, are you going to fire Rob Rosenstein, the assistant attorney general who is in charge of the Mueller investigation? And the president said, what do you think? And we'll see what happens. But earlier today, Attorney General Jeff Sessions was lauding praises on Rosenstein, and let's take a look.
Rod's had 27 years in the department. Rachel's had a number of years in the department previously, and so they both represent the kind of quality and leadership that we want in the department.
What are we to make of that? I mean, the president this afternoon indicating that he is not too happy with Rosenstein, and the Attorney General of the United States saying he is fantastic.
I think this is what you've been seeing with this administration for the last year. It's who's on first, and it's not helping us regain our place in the world. It's not helping good government.
Jack?
Obviously, there is a separation of the FBI and the Justice Department from the administration, and today played it out one more time. We've seen this same situation about 50 different times, whether it was North Korea or et cetera, all year, depending on which agency.
But declassifying memos is pretty big.
All right, we are just getting warmed up, and we'll have much more on the Week in Washington right after we check the first alert weather, so stay with us.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to savethefood.com.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Monday at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Ray Collins. Sarasota's Selby Library is hosting a career fair for local high school students. We'll tell you which employers will be there looking for the future leaders of tomorrow. That's Monday on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
As we head into next work week, we'll be looking at some changes coming up in terms of our temperatures. Changes I think you'll like. We'll talk about that bright and early.
Monday at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Every week on Animal Outtakes, it's a new adventure. From meeting curious lemurs to feeding big cats and hosing down rhinos, there's never a dull moment. And sometimes these amazing animals chime in. Tune in to Animal Outtakes to find out what they have to say. Watch Animal Outtakes every week on ABC7.
Our conversation on the Week in Washington continues right after we get the check on the first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan, who is live at Music on Main, where luckily he is not as cold as it was a few nights ago up there. Bob?
Alan, I gotta tell you, they are tearing it up tonight. Lots of folks on the dance floor, being the main street of Lakewood Ranch for Music on Main. The Lisa Ridings Band providing the music and entertainment here. And I love this song. You see just a huge sea of people here on a beautiful night with short sleeves and people light jackets, maybe a sweater or two. Not bad at all. And just running into all sorts of people. These people, Patriots fans from Massachusetts, go! That's right. Jim Carrey, by the way, everybody. Jim Carrey, not the Jim Carrey, but Jim Carrey from Massachusetts. Here's a look at what's happening with our sunset tonight. A great photo sent in from Susan Humphreys of Palmetto. Now, I'm not able to access all the pictures. I appreciate all the people sending them in out here being remote, but that's just one of them I found on my Facebook page. So you can join my Facebook page as well at WWSB, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan, and I can get your photos that way in this remote location. Well, Casey Key showing a review of this beautiful beach weather tonight, and it has been fantastic this afternoon. We'll look for a little bit of cloudiness tomorrow, but should not spoil your Saturday. We're looking at this frontal boundary, which for the most part is Washington. Good job right there. They're rocking the crowd right here. Music on Main. Weather headlines read like this. So some clouds increasing Saturday. Rain Sunday, mainly afternoon and evening. So I think the morning should be okay. And then a mild work week ahead. So it's not really a cold front that's moving in on Sunday. It's more of a low pressure area developing in the Northeast Gulf, which will bring us a chance for a few showers, as I mentioned, late Sunday and into Sunday night. As far as our weather overall is concerned, though, we're looking at temperatures staying above average, really, through Monday through Thursday of next week. Here's the futurecast, one particular model indicating that we will see some cloudiness around on Saturday. It's not going to be much rainfall, though, just clouds mainly. And then we'll see that storm system gathering strength over Louisiana, moving into the panhandle of Florida. And then the attendant weak cold front will eventually sweep through here come late Sunday. Now you notice this model, which is a fairly reliable model, showing that rain really not getting here until after 1:30 or so. Currently it's 64. We have a few clouds around. Dew points high. That's good news. It's going to stay relatively warm overnight. High today was 77. And as far as current temps go, low 60s near the coast, mid 60s inland. Laurel Oak, it's 67 in Lake Sarasota. Still pretty mild in Northport. Northport, you're at 71. The Plantation, big golf tournament taking place this next week, by the way, at the Plantation. That is the Plantation Community Foundation Celebrity Golf Classic. You see the forecast on Saturday looks good too. Look for variable clouds, high temperatures in the low 70s. So a little bit cooler than today, but still nice. Here's the GFS model. Now, the GFS is a global forecasting system, which is the United States model, showing, again, that rain not getting here until after 3. So it looks like basically afternoon showers and not much rough weather around. 70% chance for that late day shower activity on Sunday. And then notice the temperatures. They stay into the mid 70s right through Friday of next week. So good weather for that Celebrity Golf Classic, which features NFL players, hockey players, also Major League Baseball players. That's this Thursday at the Plantation Golf and Country Club. But here tonight, it's Lakewood Ranch, hitting the streets, having some fun right here, listening to some great music. We'll be right back after this.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes,
B, console her.
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend.
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Welcome back. We're talking about the week in Washington and Suncoast politics, and joining us for more are two of the most respected minds in local politics, Jack Brill, the vice chair of the Sarasota Republican Party, and Rita Ferrandino, the former chair of the Sarasota Democratic Party. So here we go again. At the beginning of the week, the president gives his first State of the Union address, and most people are saying he did a darn good job, just like he did last year when he gave his first address to a joint session of Congress. The problem last year is the next morning he tweeted something that was pretty outrageous, and he basically stepped on his own message. This week, unlike just about any president, Democrat or Republican, who usually then goes out after the State of the Union and campaigns for what they laid out, the president stayed in the White House and he wasn't even seen for the next 2 or 3 days. Jack, what is going on there?
That's just President Trump's individual style. But to your point, you know, the State of the Union address was excellent. You know, he was very disciplined. He talked about a lot of the agenda items coming up. We've got a lot of good things going on in the country. You know, we've got the stock market, even though it went down a little bit today.
A little bit, over 600.
All right, a little bit today.
And it has had a tumble since the State of the Union.
And,
I mean,
but you
the fact is that
look at the companies that are bringing their money back with the tax cuts. 2.4 million new jobs. African American unemployment is at a record low. It's got a long ways to go.
I'm sorry, Jack. This came out today. The black unemployment rate, which President Trump claimed credit for reducing to a new record low, jumped last month by the most in 6 years. So the point is, the president didn't go out and campaign on his successes up until this point. And all of a sudden it comes Friday, and now you have this, and it totally steps on what the president laid out earlier in the week.
And the stock market has been teetering all week, and it came directly after the State of the Union. And I think what's really interesting, not only did the president sort of haul up in the White House, and now he's off, to Mar-a-Lago here in Florida. And so odd times.
Right, but I got to say, but remember, if you're looking at the stock market, maybe, yes, they have a low week, but look where it is now, where it was 2 years ago.
It's a 666
but
point
still, it's
drop
a lot higher
today.
I mean, tremendous error. But there's a lot of positive things. They're talking, you know, you've got a $1.6 trillion infrastructure program that's going to be discussed. You know, there's a lot of positive.
And the dreamers are still dreaming.
And that'll get resolved in the next, by the middle of March.
On the other hand, Rita, I am looking at another headline entitled, "Where Did the Wave Go?" Up until recently, the Democrats in a generic ballot, meaning you're asking people if they were to choose a generic Democrat versus a generic Republican, that was up to like 17 points. It was huge. Now, according to Nate Cohn, the Democratic advantage on the generic congressional ballot has dwindled since the heart of the tax debate in December. The nearly surveys, it was up, as I mentioned, by double digits. Now poll averages put the Democratic lead around 6 or 7 percentage points. What happened?
So I think what we're going to see is if the economy does waffle and we continue to see a drop in the Dow, Sarasotans in particular are going to feel that, and that's going to signal the resurgence of a wave. Here in Sarasota, we had a Women's March at the anniversary of the Women's March after the inauguration, and we had over 15,000 women and supporters just came out to march with very little political energy. So I'm not convinced that there's no movement.
But let me ask you this, and I ask you this ad nauseum, forgive me, but where is the message of the Democratic Party? Because I'm not seeing it.
Well, you just had a debate on Tuesday here where the Democratic candidate, Margaret Good, was very clear that we are not standing up. The Republican Party is supporting guns in schools. We're not doing that. She is not standing for, she believes in climate change, and she's standing up for our environment. She's standing up for public education. And so I think you are seeing the Democratic message in the candidates that are showing up to, and it's a hard race here in 72.
Right. Well, Rita did our segue for me.
Absolutely.
Jack, let's
Yes.
talk about that because, as most of our viewers know, we had a little debate this week. And it was really the first, and it was the only opportunity for both James Buchanan, Margaret Good, and Libertarian Allison Foxall to show off their priorities and their command of the issues, Jack. And most people would say that all three candidates did really well. So what are we to take of it?
And to follow up with the debate, James obviously is for, funding of public schools, funding of charter schools. There was even a conversation in there that some of the funding was for private schools. That's not true. The public funding is for charter, and they're part of the public schools. And you look at the needs of higher education for being affordable in Florida. Obviously, health care was a major issue in the Medicaid. That was all discussed, and I think you mentioned about climate change. I remember James saying specifically, no oil rigs off the coast. We have to look at our future water supplies. So I think you got to look at all three candidates made good points.
Let me both ask you this. I know, Rita, you have something that you want to say, but a lot of people look at this race here and they try to read the tea leaves. Whether this is a district that the president won by 5 points, which is not a tremendous amount around here. If there is a Democratic wave and the Democratic energy, is this race winnable? Are you looking at it in the same way, Rita?
Absolutely. First of all, I want to say I thought you did a great job with the debate. I really commend you. It was the first time James Buchanan has been agreed to debate, and it was really fascinating, and I would love for you to share how your viewers can watch it again if they missed it.
Well, I appreciate that. It is on our website. It is on our website at mysuncoast.com, and it is on our other digital platforms as well. And we will be re-airing it on ABC7.
The realities of the district, though, we have a plurality of 12 to 13 points in this district. You do have the NPA factor that's going on. Interesting. I mean, what's going to be, I think, really good about this race, it's early voting starts tomorrow. Both teams have everybody out at the 3 early voting polling places, the absentee chases. As of today, 18,827 absentee ballots have been returned.
Let me ask you about that, because a lot has been made about the possible impact that the Libertarian Allison Foxall will have on this race. She is obviously fiscally very conservative, socially liberal, and would you both agree that if she's taking votes away from anyone, it would probably be James Buchanan and not Margaret Good?
I would definitely say that, and anybody who watches the debate saw that she was very clearly a very conservative, fiscal conservative, and was very conservative, actually, I thought, on social issues. But getting back to the...
Except for marijuana, which she wants totally legalized. So,
There you go. So getting back to the district, which was your question to me, which is that this district has got a 45% Republican registration. And so the fact that Margaret Good is neck and neck and that this is so close shows that there's a wave. This is a very difficult district for a Democrat to win, and she's going to win it because she's a great candidate and quite capable.
Well, Jack, let me ask you this, because what Republicans are best known for in these parts is your effort to get out the vote and closing. Mm-hmm. The question right now is, are Democrats upping their game? Tomorrow morning, Gwen Graham, the candidate for governor, is going to be here, and she's going out with an all-star team of Democrats going door to door down here. It looks like the Democrats right now have their act together in terms of knocking on doors. Are you concerned that, given the national mood, that Mr. Buchanan winning this is not a gimme.
Well, you know, we all can have the showmanship. Everyone to bring in support for the candidates. But one thing that's unique, or not, is unique. Normally, the Democrats pull ahead in absentee voting. Our voters come out in early voting, and especially Election Day. And as of today, we've got a 350 vote lead, Republicans versus Democrats, in the absentee returns. This race already has 15% of the entire electorate has voted already in the absentee ballots. This thing could be a 26 to 30 point race, and with all the special elections that have been going on in the state, their total turnout's been 15 to 18%. We already have it in the absentees.
So Democrats would say having a 353 lead ballot return rate when you've got 45% of the voter registration is not doing well.
We have to take a quick break. We'll be right back for final thoughts in a moment.
I just need a second.
Is your weight holding you back and affecting your health?
Did you see this? Your cousin had a heart attack.
Really?
Excess weight or obesity can be serious, but you can do something about it. Visit yourweightmatters.org. Download the free toolkit to prepare you to speak with a healthcare provider. Your weight does matter. Accept the challenge and take charge today. Visit yourweightmatters.org.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
The skills you develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment that will give you a leg up in the civilian world. Learn critical leadership skills and to be part of a team. Serve your community and your country part-time while earning money for an education. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard.
If you're looking for a rewarding job you'll love, good news. The perfect job is just a click away. Go to mysuncoast.com/job of the day. It's that easy. Stop searching and go to mysuncoast.com/job of the day to find the perfect job for you. ABC7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
And our guests join us right now for final thoughts. Of course, everybody remembers the famous quote from Tip O'Neill that all politics is local, but is it really? Do you both believe what's going on nationally is going to impact a race in a district that pretty much for the last few years, even though it's been redistricted, has been reliably Republican? Rita?
Absolutely. We know that all elections have become nationalized. You can see that, you know, over the years it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And again, I think in Sarasota, the fact that, you know, James Buchanan, son of Vern Buchanan, is going to toe the line of what his father's been doing. And, you know, Donald Trump isn't having such a great week, especially with the Dow falling.
And glad I brought that up. But at the same time, you mentioned what Vern's doing. That's federal. You know, Tallahassee is obviously a very separate world, and you know the things that everyone's doing up in Tallahassee are very different than what's happening in Washington. And if actually, you know, the legislators have to react to what is happening in D.C. to make sure that everything's taken care of. But I do agree, no matter what, all politics is local. Whether it's county commission, House reps, these are the folks that impact our lives the absolute most, and that gets the most attention.
Well, I will remind you that we were talking to Frank Alcock the other day, who ran for state representative in 2016. He lost this very same district by only 4 points. So if we're talking about all politics or local, then Jackie, you're basically saying all bets are off.
This, be the first minute. This is actually a really good race because it's a real race. But it's going to be a close finish. Obviously, planning on James winning. I think he'll be a great legislator. He's got the background from the local set. He's involved in the community. He's on the board of the Y. But it really will, end up being, down to every vote.
I think it's coming down to girl power, and I think that we have a great candidate. You just listed off. I think some of the issues that you'll see coming out the next week about, why does James Buchanan have a $22,000 a year salary reported when he owns 3 homes?
We asked him about that. We have to leave it there. Yes. Thanks. Thank you both. FYI, you can watch past discussions on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And for the latest local breaking news, don't forget to download the updated version of our app. If your current app doesn't work, it's expired, just go to the App Store and re-download it by searching for WWSB or My Suncoast. We want to thank both our guests for being here tonight. Jack Brill, the Vice Chair of the Sarasota Republican Party, and Rita Ferrandino, the former Chair of the Sarasota Democratic Party. And when we return, we'll have a final look at your First Alert
Go
weather.
Birds.
Go who?
Well, go Birds.
Okay.
That's
the Eagles?
Yes.
Patriots, thank you. Plus, wait until you see what unfolded at a court hearing with Larry Nassar. Stay with us.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a final check on our First Alert forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan, who is live at Music on Main. Bob.
Alan, I'm hearing some great music right now. This is Earth, Wind, and Fire, Shining Star. That's right. This is Lisa Riding's band, and they got the crowd dancing tonight. People are happy. They're in Florida. Why not? It's nice here, right? It's cold up north, and that groundhog, you know what, saying 6 more weeks of winter, so a lot more people are heading down here, I think, over the upcoming weeks. Now, we are looking at a gorgeous sunset tonight. I want to show you this again. This is Susan Humphrey's shot in Palmetto, capturing this nice, gorgeous end of the day here on Friday as we take it on into the weekend. And then I appreciate those photos. Send the pics at mysuncoast.com. Here's the Lakewood Ranch webcam showing the blue skies this afternoon. That really warmed things up this afternoon, too. Temperatures topped out in the mid to upper 70s in some cases, east of I-75. You'll notice some clouds late. That's associated with a weak cold front that really isn't doing much at all. Saturday's day planner looks like this. 72. As I said, not much of a cold front for a high on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, just a few clouds. So look for a mixture of sun and clouds. Obviously, meteorologist John Scalzi will have much more coming up, not Saturday morning, but Monday morning. Well, satellite and radar picture showing a little line of clouds streaming overhead associated with the subtropical jet stream and a weak cold front moving down, but those two factors coming into play right now. Bradenton at 63, 64 in Sarasota, 62 in Venice, 63 right now in Holmes Beach, 66 in Rosedale, and 65 in Laurel Oak. Osprey, you're at 66 degrees, 67 in Venice, or 67 in Inglewood, Venice at 66, 71 in Northport, and Port Charlotte at 71. Here's the forecast for Saturday, looking good, isn't it? Not bad, 73 for a high there. The GFS model forecast is showing the rain coming in later on Sunday, say after 3 o'clock or so. Should be good in the morning, I can pretty much guarantee that, but the afternoon, a different story as some showers move through as that low pressure tracks off to the east. Not going to see a lot of rain here, but we will see some showers Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. Well, here's a look at the current temperatures. You must and have to be glad you're here in Florida. It's 32 in Memphis, 19 in Cleveland, 19 as well in Detroit, Minneapolis at 9. High tomorrow in Minneapolis, 19. And they'll see highs on Sunday at Super Bowl there, right around 12 degrees. Can you believe that, 12 degrees? Northeast winds turn to these. 15 knots to start today, 5 to 10 late in the day. Seas running 2 to 3 feet with a light chop out there. Water temperature now is 63 degrees, and we're expecting beaches to see a high right around 71. Well, here's the 7-day forecast. So a 70% chance for rain on Sunday, and then Monday, we're looking for that front to move through. We'll see partly cloudy skies, high temperatures in the mid-70s. I wanted to show you Monday, Alan, just for a reminder for Alan Cohn here. We are seeing the National Weather Person's Day. That is Monday, February 5th. John Jeffries, the first weather observer and weather person in the United States, and honors his birthday, by the way, which is in 1744. 76 for a high on Wednesday, Thursday 75, 76 on Sunday. You can see it. It just keeps getting better all week. Next week, not better. This is a great song right here. I want to thank you for letting me be myself. I think that's Sly, and it's Sly and the Family Stone. Anyway, Al will be back with primetime headlines coming up right after this. Back to you.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now, we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Checking primetime headlines, a distraught father tried to attack disgraced sports doctor Larry Nassar during a sentencing hearing in Michigan today. ABC's Aaron Kotursky has more.
As Larry Nassar sat for sentencing in Eaton County, Michigan, the father of 3 of his victims asked for time alone.
Would you give me 1 minute?
Randall Margraves had just watched 2 of his daughters deliver victim impact statements. Margraves described himself as a distraught father. When the judge denied his request, Margraves charged at Nassar. Court officers tackled Margraves before he reached Nassar's seat and put him in handcuffs. As Margraves was escorted out, spectators were left stunned. The judge refused to punish the father, saying it was not appropriate in light of Nassar's crimes and the anguish the parents faced.
You heard things today on the record that you didn't know before. I can see that absolutely creating an anger and a rage so great that any parent would want to do physical harm.
Margraves could have been held in contempt of court and sentenced to jail time or a fine. Speaking before the judge, he praised the work of the court officer who blocked his attack.
I look over here and Larry Nassar's shaking his head no, like it didn't happen. I lost control. I apologize 100 times.
This is the 3rd and final sentencing for Nassar, who has already been given up to 175 years in prison for multiple counts of sexual abuse. 5 dozen victims are giving impact statements. Aaron Kotursky, ABC News, New York.
It looks like Congress will vote next week on a short-term spending bill to avert a government shutdown. The stopgap measure would keep the government open and funded through March 22nd. That would give lawmakers time to map out a path forward on a bill to address expiring DACA programs. DACA protects certain undocumented immigrants from deportation who were brought to the U.S. illegally as children. We all know President Trump loves to remind us how well the stock market has been doing, but not today. The Dow Jones closed down 666 points, or 2.5%. It is the biggest percentage decline since the Brexit turmoil in June 2016 and the steepest point decline since the 2008 financial crisis. Both the Dow and the S&P suffered their biggest weekly drops at 4% each since the beginning of 2016. That's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us, and please have a great weekend. Go Pats!